This is Tamara from mooglyblog.com, and in this video I'd like to demonstrate how to braid crochet loops. Now I have a few patterns on Moogly that use this technique in a couple of different ways. Right here what you're looking at is a close-up of the Day at the Beach bag, and in this pattern I've braided the loops, which basically is pulling one set of loops through another. Here I've used them vertically, going up a pattern, and these are chain loops. More recently, I've made the ups and downs crochet slouchy beanie and matching fingerless mitts, and this uses tall stitches to work the same sort of pulling loop through loops to make the braid going horizontally. In this video, I'd like to show you both techniques. Now, first I'll show you on the beanie here. Unfortunately with the bag, once you've got those braided, you really do secure down the last one, so I couldn't undo them. In the hat, you can take these loops back out and put them back in at will. So here I have a series of, for this pattern I've used quad trebles. It could be any tall stitch. And to begin, when you want to make this sort of braid in the round, what you're going to have to do is pick a starting stitch here. So let's make this the starting stitch. And for that first stitch, in order to create a real loop with it, I'm going to twist it once. I'm just going to flip it over like so that it creates a loop space here. Then I'm going to take the next stitch, and without twisting it, I'm going to pull it right through that loop, like so. Okay? Then I'm going to continue to do that with the next loop, like so, and the next loop, pull it up through, like so, and then the next loop, and I would continue that all the way around the hat. Now, or the fingerless mitts, depending on which one I'm making here. I'm making the hat. Some people have mentioned they like to use their hook for this, and this is a great chance to use it if you're more comfortable with it. You can grab that next loop, pull it on through. Grab that next loop, and pull it on through. Might want to use a slightly bigger hook. This is the same hook size I used on the hat itself, I believe. Like so. Pull it on through. Now you can see when you're making these, you can have, sometimes I call it laddering. You can see the stitches in between. You just want to kind of pull and squish the braid together with your fingers like so. And before you know it, you'll have a good looking braid. Then as you come all the way back around, that very last loop is going to go through the loop in front of it, and that's the loop you put over the button to finish it off. I'm not going to make you sit through the whole thing here. You've got the idea. This is a horizontal braid worked all the way around. That's how I make that one. Now for the vertical braid here in the beach bag, there are a couple different ways you can do this one, but basically if you're working in rounds or rows, you're going to want to make the loops that get pulled through each other, excuse me, with large chain loops. These were chains of 12. And I have here a small close-up of it undone, all worked in the same color here. Now for the Day at the Beach bag pattern, I alternated rows where you'd have a chain 2, skip 2, and then in the next row it would be a chain 12, skip that chain space, then a chain 2, then a chain 12. And in this one, working up the bag, for the first chain 12 I would pull it under that chain 2 like so, then go up to the next chain 12, pull it under the chain 2 below it, and then through the chain 12 below that. Again, for the next chain 12, pull it underneath the chain 2 below it, or behind I guess you could say, and then through the loop below it. You can see we get a looping chain going vertically up there, and again you could use your stitch to pull those through if you find it easier. I like to use my fingers, but everybody does it their own way. Now I want to say I did the chain 2 on every other row for the Day at the Beach bag because that pattern was worked, here let me pull it out again, that pattern was worked with alternating colors, and I wanted all the loops for the braid to be the same color, so that was a way to skip having the blue rows be part of the braid. If I were doing something different, if I wanted every row to participate in the braid, I would make these chain loops smaller, and then I would just go ahead and braid them right on through each one, maybe twisting the first one again like I did with the hat and then pulling them through. Now another alternative you might find in patterns that use this technique is that some of them will have you twist the loop on every row. So you would put the loop through and twist before you put the next one through. And that's just another variation on this technique, but I think now you've got the basic idea of how you can do braiding with crochet loops. And by working it with chains like this, you can do it vertically in the pattern, unless of course you're working sideways, then it would be horizontal. And then by doing tall stitches like this, you can work a horizontal row of braids, or if you're working top to bottom, or excuse me, side to side, in this case, it would be vertical. And that's all there is to creating crochet braids with crochet loops. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, please subscribe to our channel to make sure you don't miss a one. And thanks so much for watching.